All right, you pricks, welcome to Deep Dive After Dark. You know the drill. We're ditching the bullshit and diving headfirst into some real shit. Fuck Google and their censors.
Fuck 'em.
Tonight, we're talking about Goodfellas. That fucking classic.
A goddamn masterpiece.
This movie, based on Wise Guy, throws you right into the gangster life.
Yes.
You see how these motherfuckers live, how they think?
Yeah, it pulls you in, shows you the allure of that world.
Let's start with Henry Hill, our main motherfucker.
Yeah.
This kid is obsessed with the mob.
They're like rock stars to him. Powerful, respected, they can get away with anything.
And the cab stand across from his house, that's his first taste of this world.
Yeah, he starts running errands for these guys.
Yeah.
Skipping school and shit.
And his old man finds out.
Beats the crap out of him.
But the mob, they don't take that shit lying down.
No, they don't.
They go after the mailman who delivered the letter from the school.
It's messed up, but it shows their loyalty.
You fuck with one of them.
You fuck with them all.
Then there's James Conway.
Ah, Conway?
The total badass. This guy walks into the cab stand
Yeah.
and throws money around like it's nothing.
Like it grows on trees.
He's a legend.
Conway was all about the thrill. Loved stealing, hijacking, clothes, cigarettes, even fucking lobsters.
They even called him James the Gent.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, this guy's as ruthless as they come.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember the airport heists?
Classic.
They waltz in and steal millions. It's almost too easy.
Makes you wonder why anyone would go straight.
The money, the power, the women. Let's not forget about Karen.
Karen.
She's initially attracted to Henry's lifestyle. It's exciting, forbidden,
But the film doesn't let you forget the dark side. The violence is always there.
lurking beneath the surface. Remember Tommy shooting Spider in the foot?
Over a stupid joke.
That scene shows you how casual and reckless these guys become. Life means nothing to them.
Chilling, really.
Their world is built on fear and intimidation. Respect is earned through brutality.
It's the mob way.
But for a while, it seems like they're getting away with it. The champagne, the parties, the expensive clothes.
It's seductive, even for the audience.
And then comes the Lufthansa heist. This is where things really start to unravel.
Yeah.
Henry gets everyone involved,
Everyone.
even his babysitter.
The stakes are higher than ever.
They pull it off. But the paranoia sets in. They start spending recklessly. And James becomes a total loose cannon.
He's suspicious of everyone.
The tension is palpable.
He can cut it with a knife.
They know they're being watched. And one wrong move could bring the whole thing crashing down.
Like a house of cards.
And then the bodies start dropping. Stacks. Morris. James doesn't hesitate to eliminate anyone he sees as a threat.
The guy was a fucking psychopath.
It's a bloodbath. You realize just how expendable everyone is in this world. Loyalty means nothing when you're talking about millions of dollars.
Especially in their line of work.
And then there's Tommy. He's about to be made, officially welcomed into the inner circle. It's a big deal for him.
A huge honor.
They even had a signal worked out to let everyone know when the ceremony was over.
Like a goddamn coronation.
But it never comes. Instead, they whack him. They lured him in with the promise of respect and belonging.
And then blew his fucking brains out.
It's a brutal betrayal.
Shows that in the mob, no one is safe.
Not even your best friend. From there, it all goes downhill for Henry. Drugs, paranoia, the feds closing in. He's a mess.
A total wreck.
He turns to Paulie for help, expecting some kind of loyalty after all these years.
You think so, right?
But Paulie gives him a pittance. Basically tells him to fuck off.
Another betrayal.
Henry realizes he's on his own. He's got a target on his back.
Yeah.
And the only way out is to snitch.
He flipped.
So he rats everyone out. Paulie, James, the whole crew ends up behind bars.
A whole fucking lot of them.
And Henry. He gets a new identity, a new life.
But at what cost?
He's a ghost. Haunted by his past, he might be alive.
But he's lost everything that mattered to him.
The film ends with him looking directly at the camera, a mix of regret and longing in his eyes.
A powerful ending.
It leaves you wondering if he made the right choice. Was it worth it to betray his family to save his own ass?
That's the question Goodfellas asks. And it's one we'll be diving into after a quick break. Don't go anywhere, you filthy animals. Yeah, so we left off with Henry, the rat bastard, selling out his crew to save his own skin.
Some might say he's a coward.
Others might say he's a survivor.
What do you think?
Honestly, the fucker was in deep shit. The feds were breathing down his neck.
The so-called friends were dropping like flies.
And he was facing a lifetime in the slammer. He did what he had to do.
Yeah, it's easy to judge when you're not the one staring down the barrel of a gun.
Right.
These weren't Boy Scouts. They were cold-blooded killers.
Exactly. Henry had seen firsthand what those animals were capable of. He knew if he kept his mouth shut.
He'd end up 6 feet under.
So he spills his guts.
Tells the feds everything.
Paulie, James.
The whole fucking lot of them end up behind bars.
It's like pulling the rug out from under their feet.
Their little empire crumbles overnight.
Phew.
But here's the thing that pisses me off. Henry gets to walk away. New identity. New life. The son of a bitch gets a free pass.
It's a bittersweet ending for sure.
He loses everything.
His family, his friends, his status.
At least he's breathing.
Living in witness protection. Looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life.
Sounds like a real party.
He's a ghost. Haunted by the shit he's done and the people he's betrayed.
You can see it in his eyes at the end of the film. That look of regret.
Like he misses the good old days when he was a made man.
He probably misses the excitement.
Yeah.
The camaraderie. The power.
Even though it was all built on a foundation of lies and violence.
It's fucked up, right? This guy gets away with murder and then gets to whine about missing the good times.
It's a reminder that sometimes, even the worst pieces of shit get a second chance.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the choices we make, the things we're willing to sacrifice to survive.
And the consequences of those choices. Henry might be alive, but he'll never escape the shadow of his past.
He traded his soul for a chance at a normal life. Whether or not it was worth it, it's up to each individual to decide.
Now let's talk about the film's legacy. This isn't just some cheap gangster flick. Goodfellas changed the game.
It set a new standard for how these stories are told. The pacing, the energy, the fucking brilliance of Scorsese's direction.
The camera work is phenomenal. You feel like you're right there in the middle of the action.
Yeah, the Copacabana scene is a prime example. That long tracking shot where you follow Henry and Karen through the kitchen, past all the cooks and waiters. It's like you're getting a behind-the-scenes tour of the mob world.
And the music. Fucking perfect. Every song fits the mood and the era perfectly.
It's more than just violence and crime, though. Goodfellas is a character study. You see the relationships between these guys, the loyalty, the betrayal, the way they operate.
They're flawed, they're violent, they're often despicable.
But they're also human.
You see their vulnerabilities, their fears, their motivations.
And that's what makes them so compelling. You can't help but be drawn into their world, even if it's a world you wouldn't want to live in yourself.
The film doesn't glamorize the gangster lifestyle. It shows you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And in the end, who really wins? Nobody.
Henry's a broken man living a lie.
Paulie's in jail.
James is in jail.
Tommy's pushing up daisies.
The house always wins.
Goodfellas is a film that stays with you.
It's a classic for a reason. A masterpiece of storytelling. A study of human nature. And a warning about the allure of the dark side.
So what's the final verdict? Is it worth watching?
Are you kidding me? This is a must-see for any film buff. You haven't lived until you've experienced Goodfellas.
That's a wrap on another Deep Dive After Dark. We hope you enjoyed our take on this cinematic masterpiece. Keep it real, you filthy animals.
Right.
So we talked about the plot, the characters, the impact. But what about the filmmaking itself? What makes Goodfellas such a goddamn masterpiece?
It's Scorsese at his best, man. The dude's a master of his craft. The way he uses the camera, the editing, the music. It's all so fucking deliberate and effective.
You know, the pacing is insane. It can keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time. You never know what's going to happen next.
And those freeze frames, pure genius. It's like he's saying, pay attention, motherfucker. The shit's important.
So the voiceover man, Henry's narration throughout the film, is so crucial to the storytelling. It's like you're getting inside his head, seeing the world through his eyes.
Yeah, it gives you a glimpse into his thought process, his motivations. You understand why he makes the choices he does, even if you don't agree with them.
And the humor, man. It's dark, it's twisted, but it's fucking hilarious.
The scene where Tommy's mom is showing off her painting of the dogs playing poker, I lose it every time.
Right, it's those little moments that make the film so memorable.
Goodfellas is more than just a gangster movie. It's a commentary on the American dream, on the pursuit of power and wealth, on the allure of the criminal lifestyle.
It shows you the seductive side of that world, but it also makes you pay for it. It doesn't shy away from the consequences.
The violence, the betrayal, the paranoia, it all comes at a price, and in the end, nobody really wins.
The cautionary tale disguised as a balls-to-the-wall gangster flick.
And that's why it's a fucking classic. It's entertaining, it's thought-provoking, it's visually stunning. It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll.
So there you have it. A bunch of degenerates, our take on Goodfellas, a film that's as relevant today as it was back in 1990.
If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out. Just be prepared for a wild ride.
And that's a wrap on another Deep Dive After Dark. Until next time, keep it real and don't let the bastards grind you down.